middle of all these trees. It's like a mini forest. And, you hear all these strange, animals like the cows and coyotes and all this stuff. It scares what out of you.
It does scare you. Another thing, when I was like 5, maybe 4, my great-great-grandfather, he was a horse whisperer. He was teaching me how to be one. And the first thing he did was put me on this, well, it was a pony, but it looked like a huge, one of them Clydesdale horses to me at 4 or 5. He put me on there bareback, and he said, grab a death grip on its mane, I didn't think nothing of it. Next thing I knew, Gary, he slapped the butt of that horse with his bare hand real hard, and we was off to the races. I was scared to death. I'm bouncing out through this field just holding on for dear life.
Oh, we learn. That's the satisfaction of being young. You learn. Well, you know what? A man in North Carolina. That's right. Another man in North Carolina. Well, 7 years ago, he won $250,000. But on Friday, he goes into the local little store to buy whatever he's buying. He buys a lottery ticket, and now he's $200,000 richer.
That is incredible. That's like the third person from the Carolinas.
Fourth person in like a week and a half.
Yeah, that is amazing. I got to tell you, if you're passing through the Carolinas, stop and buy 2 or 3 tickets, because if you're going to win twice.
I don't know. Some of these people are winning 2, 3, 4 times. What is it? I can't win. I can't win if my life depended on it. And these people are seeming like they're winning. I mean, hey, this guy, at least it was 7 years, between winnings. But, how about the people like a month time goes by and they win $250,000, then they win $175,000 or what have you. It's bad here. I met a guy in Washington State one time, was the first $1 million winner.
Oh, wow.
And he was bragging. He had, everywhere he went, he had to show everybody the newspaper clipping that he won the first $1 million. He was so excited about it. Of course, after they got done taking the taxes out, it wasn't nowhere near the $1 million. But the frickin' guy, like about 2 years later, won like $5 million.
Oh, wow. Now, see, I knew somebody that won, here they had a $100,000 lottery. It was like every week. And I forget what they called it, but this was like 20-some years ago. But these 2 people I knew used to play the same numbers every day. And finally, they hit it. And it was for $100,000, but after taxes, I think they got like $64,000.
Yeah, they take out between like 40%.
Yeah, I think it was 36% here, but this was 20-some years ago too, though. But yeah,
that's a big hunk for taxes. You realize that?
Oh, it's a huge hunk. Yeah. And they didn't even have to do nothing. They're already making money from the tickets for schools or road or whatever. So it's not like they're not making any money.
Yeah, don't ever cash out your retirement funds early, because you get hit with so much penalties and stuff like that. Any money you made having it in there for like 20 years, you just lost it the time you pay the government their taxes and, the state their taxes, and you look, wow.
Yeah, you'd be lucky to get the base back if you're lucky.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, a man comes down after being on the flagpole after 78 days, but don't worry. He did break the record, but there's a guy right now, it plans to go up on he probably already was, because Friday he was going up on a flagpole in a barrel, and he's going to spend 94 days.
Oh. I don't know how they do it, because I've seen the picture. That thing is way up there on a skinny pole. You're in a barrel. You have to like sit down just to get in there. There's nothing over your head. You've got to figure out how to eat and do other things up there, if you know what I mean. And then how is that even possible? And then when that wind kicks up and the big storm's going, you're just swaying. Wow. No thanks.
Yeah, it's really scary when you think about it. It's just, I wouldn't want to do it. It's as bad as back years ago in Oregon when they were cutting down all the trees. A bunch of people decided they were going to live on a tree where they wouldn't get it cut down. And, it was scary because some of these people were being interviewed by the news because they had their cell phones. Could you imagine living on a tree branch pretty much for, like 2 weeks? I mean, let's face it, people have to bring you food. You have to do that. And what happens when you have to, you know, well, I don't know. I don't even know how you do it in a barrel, because I'm looking at the picture of this guy. It came down. That barrel was a good-sized barrel. It was just up to his waist. But, I mean, when you're in there, how is he going to even walk when he gets out? Because his muscles would have deteriorated drastically. But wouldn't you get leg cramps and everything else? I mean, besides freezing and bugs and everything else?
Well, I would think if you're not exercising or moving constantly, you would definitely get muscle atrophy or chance of getting some kind of clots, because you're right, you're cooped up in a little barrel.
Oh, yeah. Well, in Utah, somebody decided they were going to get some heavy equipment. What are they going to use the heavy equipment for? Nah, they got a great idea. We'll just tear the ATM right out of the bank's wall. Well, they'll be thinking about it for the next 20 years because, well, it didn't work.
No, I bet not. I bet not. That reminds me of the guy just a few months ago in Jersey. He robbed the ATM, was trying to get on a bus with it.
Yeah, I just wonder. But you know what? Could you imagine you're in Indiana, and you turn on your tap water. I'm surprised you didn't catch this one. This is 3 days ago. Residents in apartment building in Indiana discovered free mixed beers on tap in their kitchen earlier in the week. They're still trying to figure out how the beer was coming through the faucets.
That is a mystery all in itself. That kind of reminds me of the guy that pretty much he made a tap in the front of his truck where the water, the coolant for your
radiator, peacock,
for the windshield wiper. He made it where it filled up his cup inside the dash of the truck. Yeah, it was crazy.
Well, somebody probably in that apartment complex, probably hooked up a keg, right? And for a gag, they were hooking it up probably to their own faucet, and instead they hooked it up to somebody else's faucet. And
they got the wrong one. They got the wrong apartment hooked up, and somebody got some free beer.
Yeah, could you imagine? Hey, honey, I'm in the shower. Oh my god, it smells like beer.
You've been drinking?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, guess what? A guy in Australia was found guilty for using his cell phone. Not because he was driving, but while he was riding his horse. And he didn't have any free hands to use the... In other words, they have it for cars. I've never heard it. Well, you could be riding a horse and get cited for talking on the cell phone while you're riding a horse.
Yeah, because you can hold the reins in one hand or both hands and the phone at the same time, or hold the reins in your teeth. I got to tell you, that reminds me of that. I'm having flashbacks for that donkey, but yeah, I don't know how they can. I don't know what the ordinance would be on that, but I guess they have one.
Yeah. Well, a doctor tells, you ready to this? A man that he's infertile.
Okay.
And he's sitting in court because the guy, he's telling he's infertile. He had his 3 sons with him in court.
Oh, boy.
And the doctor looks at the 3 sons and realizes, well, maybe he made a mistake.
I wonder if they did any DNA to follow up on this. But
I have no idea.
Yeah, he definitely made a mistake if these had 3 boys already. Of course, things change over time. Maybe he became infertile afterwards, too.
Well, he went in and he was told he was infertile. The guy evidently had sex with his wife and ended up with 3 kids. So, I mean, if you thought you were infertile, you wouldn't, hey, why should I use that? But, well, there's a lot of other reasons why to use it. But, hey, when you're married and if somebody says one of you is infertile, you can't have kids, then you don't have to worry about spending that extra money. Hey,
right.
Surprise.
I got what you're saying. Now, if they tell you you're infertile, and then your wife's pregnant with twins or something, that might make you turn your head a couple times. But yeah. I get what you're saying.
Well, the deaths now with this virus in China. Now, depending on what you read, I mean, I have read everything from 9,000 people have died. Well, this one says it's 100 have died from it. But
I've read so much. I'm waiting for the dust to settle to get a report, and I tell you, who knows?
Well, you know what? We've had one death reported in our country from it so far.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. There's cases popping up all over the world. My question is, if you're in that area in China, why are they letting them leave? Why are we letting them come in? Why are you even wanting to be in China or go to China if you don't have to either?
Well, they are. A lot of people, don't want to go to China right now. And industry in China right now, the government's saying, go back to work, but go back to work. A lot of the people, work in these factories don't want to work because they're scared into getting the virus. Well, hey, I have a cure for it. Stop eating frickin' bats and snakes. Stop eating dogs and all this stuff, okay? You brought this virus on yourself. Change your eating habits.
Yeah, every time I hear about that, I can't get that picture of that bat soup where that bat is smiling and he's sitting in a soup bowl and somebody's ready to eat the thing.
Well, I like the one where the young girl is eating the octopus. And this octopus, decides, well, I'm not going to go down somebody's throat without a fight. And, starts putting its tentacles with the suction cups all over her face and down her throat where she was choking to death. The thing was fighting for its life. Hey, if you eat live creatures, what do you think? They're going to just go down easy? I saw today, and it really made me feel bad, that there was they're getting ready to cook these crabs, right?
Yeah.
And here's this one crab that sees this cherry, or I think it was a cherry, and decides it's going to eat the cherry. And so this video shows the other crab just laying there, getting, I'm going to die anyway. And this other one's like, oh, man, this is a cherry. I'm going to eat it. And it shows it eating the cherry. Not to realize in a minute you're going to be put in that boiling pot there. And then you see all the vegetables right there next to them. Oh, what a way to go.
That crab had the cherry on top. That's what he was. He didn't even realize it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's going to be an interesting show tonight. We got, a great guest on. We got Wally Runnels. He's going to be talking about, his experience, him and his wife and their cat on a Ouija board. And then after that'll be from 7:05 to 8 o'clock. And then roughly from 8:05 to about 8:45, we're going to have Tom. Now, Tom's with Metatron Power and Light. The music we play for our show. He is the lead singer, and he's going to be on, and he's really into the paranormal because if you listen to most of their music, it's all geared up, around the paranormal.
Yeah, Tom's good. Their band's good. I love their music, and I love when he's on. He's very well versed in all aspects of the paranormal. I will say that about him.
Oh yeah, so we're going to have a good show tonight. At least I think we're going to try to have a good show anyway.
Well, it's going to be not because of us. We're going to be good. I guarantee you that, or else we're going to be in timeout. Dang.
Yeah. But I can tell you this. There'll be, I don't know. I got so many people want to come back on, not come back on, but come on and talk about flat Earth. And when we talked about the flat Earth that one day, our listenership on the internet went way down. Now, the radio stations, I have no freaking idea how many people flip the radio dial. But when we were talking about the flat Earth, I looked halfway through it on my server, and we started out with a huge number. And I'll tell you what, there was hardly anybody there after about the first 20 minutes talking about the flat Earth. What's that tell you?
Well, that kind of speaks volumes when you're in the radio world anyway. But, some of the things just blew me away, that I learned. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, yeah. That's what it sure did with me anyway. So anyway, we'll be back in just like 2 minutes. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio.
You and living in the